it's Avery or Little Siha. I'm bringing you kind of a different video today that I've been wanting to bring for quite a while, probably about a year. I've been wanting to make a video like this, but I've just been trying to gather everything, like all of my knowledge and everything I know about streaming before I did make it so that it could be kind of like a one-stop shop for Just Dance streaming. What I wanted to make today was basically a tutorial on how to stream Just Dance with a lot of information in it, like what my setup looks like, the basics of like setting up OBS, how to like add your webcam and stuff, but then some advanced tricks that I've learned over like the years of streaming Just Dance that I kind of want to share with you guys. And then of course as well some health stuff, because streaming Just Dance is really tough. It's exercise and it's really taxing, not only like physically, but like you're dancing and then you're trying to talk to people in your chat and then you're dancing and then talking, and it's pretty hectic. So I wanted to make a video basically to just impart all the wisdom that I've learned onto you guys, so that you can all stream Just Dance in a great way and be awesome at it. Yeah. So just before we get started, I do just want to say that if I reference any links or anything, I will put them in the description. I'm also breaking the video up into 4 different chapters, so I will put the timestamps for all the chapters in the description so you can jump between them if you want. And of course, if there's any updates, I'll add them into the description as well, like if there's any change to software or whatever. The 4 chapters I want to go through today are what my setup looks like so that you can kind of get an idea of where things should be like physically. The second part I want to go through is the basic setup of OBS so that you know how to do like alerts and adding your webcam and adding your capture card and everything like that. Then I want to talk about the tricks that I've learned, like how to fix audio desync issues, as well as some other advanced settings that we can go through that I found make the streams so much better. And then lastly, I want to go over some health stuff, like things that you should have on hand when you're streaming Just Dance, just to make sure you don't like die of heat exhaustion. So without further ado, let's get into it. Yay! I don't know what I'm doing. So this is my setup. Obviously, I'm lucky to have 3 monitors, but not everyone does. And for the most part, I only ever stream Just Dance with 2. So I'm going to show you how to, or how I got my setup with 2 monitors. On this monitor, this is how I have my Windows set up. I have the chat all the way on like one half of the screen. Then on the bottom right, I have OBS so that I can see like myself. Hi. And then top right, I have the stream labels thing program, which is really good. I highly recommend everyone get it because it shows you who your followers and subs and resubs and bits and whatever. It shows you all of that in a list so that if you're, away dancing and you come back, you can see who would have subbed or rated you or whatever while you were dancing. So some people will recommend for like the main monitor that you look at Just Dance through like your capture cards application. I don't recommend doing that because there will eventually be like a delay and like a desync between the audio and the video. So what I actually do is I just change the source straight over to the other HDMI, which is where the Xbox is actually plugged in. And that's how I use Just Dance. That's the monitor I watch Just Dance on, and it shows up on OBS just fine. There's no issue with that at all. As far as audio, I actually have speakers on each side and a subwoofer. I think that's what it's called. Is that what it's called? Sounds like a dog or something. I have a subwoofer. I have a dog under my thing. So this is my setup. I'm going to mute this just so you guys don't go insane. As for lighting, I have a ring light in the middle. Ring lights are amazing and actually not too expensive. You can find them on Amazon. But I have a ring light in the middle, and then to get like an all-around lighting, I just have 2 like normal lamps, like to the right and left, so that I can get like the best lighting possible. And then over here, I just have the Xbox. So that's my entire setup. Once again, that's the placement of where I put all my windows and stuff. And then on here, I just look at Just Dance straight through the original source on the monitor. So first we're going to get into the basics of how to use OBS, how to add scenes, all that fun stuff. These are all of my scenes, but just, you know, for the sake of this not being confusing, we're gonna add a new one and just call it Just Dance Newbie. Yay. Now to add your webcam, what you're gonna want to do is click this little plus sign under sources, click video capture device, and look for your webcam somewhere here. You'll need to create a new one. But if you're adding it to multiple sources, then you can just add existing. When you create a new one, it'll ask you which webcam you want to use, and you'll just choose the one you're using. Mine is the Logitech C920, so I'm just gonna choose that one. You will also want to mirror your webcam, just a heads up, because if it's not mirrored, then your body will move opposite to how the dancer's moving in the bottom right corner or wherever you decide to put the game. Now, when you want to flip your webcam so that you can mirror it, you'll just right click here and choose transform and then flip horizontal. Obviously I can't show you on the webcam because then you won't be able to see it, but that's what you're looking for when you want to flip your webcam. Then to add your capture card for the game, you'll do video capture device, and you'll need to add whichever one it is, whether you have AverMedia or Elgato. I have Elgato, so we're adding that. Of course, you can't see anything because there's nothing hooked up. But what I do is I take this Elgato. You can actually click the corners and drag. So I'll show you how to do that with this. Basically, you just click here. You'll see like a red outline, and then you'll drag it and move it around as much as you want. You can also, just a handy tip, is if you hold down Alt, you hold down Alt and you click something and drag it, you can actually like crop it. Ooh, it's me. Hi, bye, hi, bye. Now, in terms of if you want to use a green screen to dance instead, that will take a little bit of resizing with the windows. First of all, you would want to make the Elgato the biggest window, and then you would move your camera up a few layers and move this down. Unless you want it to be like full screen or whatever, you can keep it full screen and like be right there with the dancers. But to get the chroma key, I will show you this on the display. You need to right click your webcam and choose filters. And then I think you can see me. Yes, you can. You'll have a filter for a green screen. This one is mine, but it's different for everyone. There's actually like a default chroma key that you can choose. You click the plus key and do chroma key. And then there's one that automatically chooses it for you, like green, and has all the opacity and stuff, but you can change all of that as much as you like. But that's how you choose the filter. If you want to turn it off at any time, you just click this little eyeball on the screen, and then you're good. Then to add your alerts, that's a little more tricky. You'll need to log into Streamlabs and see what your URL is for the alerts, but you'll add it as a browser source. And for me, the alerts are just here automatically, and you can move them around as you want. I would recommend also testing the alerts and seeing where they look best on the screen. Now, something that I did want to let you guys know is that if you are streaming from PS4, you'll have to go into the settings and turn off HDCP. Otherwise, you cannot use any type of recording device with it. It won't work. As of right now, you just go into settings and then system, and then you should see a checkbox with an option to turn off the HDCP. It's automatically checked already. You just have to uncheck it and then restart your console, and then you're good to go. Now, in terms of console choice, that's really dependent on what you like. I prefer Xbox because it's hands-free and I use the Kinect, but as of right now, the Kinect is actually discontinued, and so is the adapter that you need to make it work on an Xbox One S and X. So it's gonna be pretty expensive to find a Kinect pretty soon, and it's gonna require a lot of wires. So my next best would be the Switch. The Switch is super easy to use, and even though it does use a controller, the Joy-Con is really, really light. So it's really like almost not even noticeable. I mean, when I'm watching my streams back from when I used to dance on the Switch, I can't even see the Joy-Con in my hand. So it's probably the least notable. You also have exclusive content on the Switch that isn't on other consoles, like choreographies and features and stuff. So the Switch might be the better way to go. Now, in terms of tricks that I've learned, these are going to be kind of random and all over the place, but These are things that have really bothered me over the years that I've just slowly figured out. The biggest one being the audio desync between what you see and what you hear. That can be the most frustrating. On your end, it might be fine, but on the stream's end, the audio is slightly off. Typically, the audio is fine. It's the video that's actually delayed. So how you fix this is you'll find your capture card down here under Mixer. Mine is Elgato. But this same thing worked for me when I used AverMedia. You'll click on the cog right here and choose Advanced Audio Properties. Then what you're looking for is the sync offset. This basically delays the audio so that it can be at the exact same time as the video. And it works perfect for rhythm games. It's what you really need. At first I did 200, but I found 180 is kind of the most perfect offset number I can find. So that's what you would put next to Elgato or AverMedia or whatever you use. You would just change this to whatever you find is best. I would still recommend tweaking it because it might be different with every capture card, but for me, the best was 180. The second thing that I've learned to use is push to talk, and I want to show you guys how to use that. This basically means that if you are listening to Just Dance, obviously through your monitor or speakers or whatever, if you have your mic on all the time, they're going to hear an echo. Your audience is going to hear an echo, and it is really annoying, especially because there's usually like an audio delay, slight audio delay, and it's very, very noticeable, especially if you have your volume up pretty loud. Not only that, but while you're dancing, you may make some weird noises. You might snort and your body parts might clap together and you might heavy breathe, which is pretty much normal because you're exercising. But they're all really weird noises and I don't think anyone wants to hear them. So I'm going to show you how to set up push to talk or push to mute, depending on what you want to do. Push to talk means that you hold down a button of your choice so that you can talk while you're holding it down, and as soon as you let it go, you're muted again and they can't hear you. Push to mute basically means that you just push a button and you're muted, and then you push it again and you're unmuted. You don't have to hold it down. But if you have it on push to mute, you might forget to mute it or unmute it. So I recommend push to talk. So to enable push to talk, what you'll want to do is click on settings in here, then click on audio and scroll all the way down to mic. This is what you'll see. If you want to enable it, just click it. I'm not going to click it because then you won't be able to hear my voice. But to enable either of these, just click it. Push to mute is already enabled. But yeah, you'll just click it to enable it. Then you'll move over to hotkeys, scroll all the way down close to the bottom where you'll see mic again. And then here is where you'll click and type any key that you want to be your push to talk or push to mute key. So if you want it to be A, just press A and you're good to go, hit apply. You can do the same for push to mute. If you want your mute button to be pause, then it's pause. It can be whatever you want it to be. And then when you're good to go, just hit apply. This is a more random part of it, but I've noticed that if I open my Game Captures application before I go live, it kind of resets everything. Sometimes if I don't open it for too long, the game and the audio might get delayed or the audio might get crackly. And typically if I open the application, that all resets and it kind of gathers everything back to where it should be. It sounds super weird and honestly it might be superstitious, but I've always found that opening the application before I actually start my stream helps a lot. The reason I say before is because you can't actually have OBS and your video capture open at the same time because you'll get this message and it just won't work. So I would open it first, then close it, then OBS and start your stream. Now, the other thing that I've learned to do is not technical at all, but it's just kind of gimmicks, I guess, to keep the stream fresh. There are a lot of different resources you can use, like Streamlabs has a lot of really cool things like the Bit Boss and like the Bit Cups and stuff that you can use to make a game out of your stream and find something interesting that keeps it fresh. You're not just dancing, you're entertaining and performing. So finding cool, interesting stuff to do on your streams is really good. When I was first trying to find some gimmicks to do on stream, I typically went towards like heels dances or blindfolded dances, something to like challenge me to make it a little more interesting. So you can find a lot of stuff online to help make your streams a little bit more entertaining other than just dancing. But to be honest, if it's your first time playing Just Dance or streaming Just Dance, I would honestly just stick to what's comfortable because it's kind of scary to dance in front of people. So you don't have to think about that just yet. Now, in terms of health, I have a lot to talk about because I think that people forget that dancing is exercise and it takes a lot to move around in a really intense way for several hours. It's also really hard to stop dancing and gather your breath to be able to talk to your chat. It's really, really tough. It's a lot harder than it looks. So I'm going to go over some tips to help keep yourself healthy while you do it, because while it technically is a video game, it's definitely like a toll on your body, and you should look after your body and be good to yourself. My biggest thing is stretching. Please, for the love of whatever God you worship, please, please stretch your body. I cannot stress that enough. It is so important to stretch before and after, even if you're just like, yeah, cool, done, stretching, fine. Do something. Just make sure you stretch yourself and warm up a little bit beforehand, because if you don't, you are gonna wake up really sore the next day. I can promise you, if you don't stretch, you will regret it. I'm gonna put a link to some of my favorite stretches from Blogilates. It's just an easy picture to follow, but there are a lot of stretches that I do before stream. I make sure to stretch my back, my neck cracked as I'm streaming this. Most importantly, I stretch my legs a lot. Just reach down and touch your toes, or sit on the ground and try to touch your toes. Whatever you gotta do, just stretch everything as much as you can. This one's kind of common sense, but please have some water nearby. I actually keep 2 full water bottles of like cold water with ice cubes and everything on hand all the time, because I down that stuff while I'm dancing. Like you're gonna need it, I promise you. Please have a lot of water. If you run out, make sure you have an easy way to go get some more water, because it gets really hot when you're dancing and it's really intense. I would also highly recommend having some sort of fan. I have a tower fan over to the side that my viewers see all the time, because if I do a really intense dance, I'll just drag it over and put it right in front of my face. But have some sort of fan. It helps a lot more than you think if you have cold air blowing on you. It helps keep you going and make sure you don't overheat. Also, please wear something comfortable for you. I know that a lot of people would like to say that wearing less clothing on Twitch is bad, but this is exercise, and if you're wearing like a sweatshirt and sweatpants, you're gonna like pass out like really fast. So I highly recommend wearing shorts, or like basketball shorts, or just whatever makes you comfortable when you're exercising, because keep in mind, you're gonna be moving around a lot. You're gonna get really hot and sweaty, so you're gonna wanna wear something that is comfortable. Lastly, I also recommend having a hand towel on hand. Jokes. It's really good to use to wipe the sweat off of your face or off the back of your neck or whatever, wherever you want to wipe. I don't care. I don't judge. But it helps a lot to be able to just clear up your face, especially since if you have long hair like me and you're sweating, your hair will get stuck to your face and just get everywhere. And it's very annoying. And I guess the last tip is to honestly try not to think so hard about if you look stupid or if you look bad or anything like that. As long as you're having fun, that's really all that matters. In my opinion, the hardest part about streaming Just Dance is not staying healthy and making sure I don't pass out and entertaining and performing. It's making sure I don't feel stupid. And that was really hard for me to get over, but the more that you stream, the easier it gets to do it and the less stupid you feel. So just keep in mind, if that's your biggest worry, is that you're gonna look dumb, I can promise you that no one else in the chat could do it any better. And if they think they can, then they can prove it. So as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. I hope all of these tips helped. If you have any questions or whatever, please post a comment in the section, or tweet at me, or post on my Facebook page or whatever, and I'd be happy to answer. I want streaming Just Dance to be as easy as humanly possible. So yeah. That's about it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped. Like I said, if you have any other questions, let me know, and I'd be happy to answer them. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.